Hello friends. So today we are going to see a very important algorithm which will be handy in solving many of the interview problems. It's a very easy algorithm to know, but there are many applications or many problems which could be solved using this algorithm. So for example, we'll go through how to implement this algorithm first. Then I'll go through the code and I will explain you how to write a simple DFS code in Java. And after that we'll see some problems which could be solved using this algorithm. And let me tell you, this looks very easy algorithm, and yes, it is a very easy algorithm, but it has many applications. Okay, so here I have taken a very simple graph, so at least we understand what is the method to use to do a DFS traversal. Okay, so we can start from any of the nodes. So for example, let's suppose we are starting at node or vertex 0. And so we will first print 0, or we can save it into an array or list data structure so that you can print out later. So for example, let's suppose I'm printing 0 over here. So I'm starting from here. So this is my source or start vertex. The next step we do, we add it to our DFS data structure, or you can print it. So for example, let's print it. So print 0. Okay. Next step, you will find a neighbor of this vertex which is not being visited previously. So we can see here are two neighbors of this vertex, 1 and 2, and you can take any one at random. So for example, let me take it as a 1, and then again you will do the same thing. You will take 1, so now your source vertex will become this 1, and you will print this 1. Okay, now again we'll do the same thing. So we'll try to find out an unvisited vertex which is neighbor to this source vertex 1. So we see there is only one vertex, so we'll move here. So source will be moved here, and we will print 4 now. Okay, now if you see that we are done, so we are at a dead end, so there is no way to go. So even 4 does not have any neighboring node. So if you see, it's a directed graph, but you can use any undirected graph as well. Okay, so then we backtrack. So basically we'll come from here to this node. So our program execution will go from this function call to this function call. And remember, we are trying to do it in a recursive way, so that's why I'm using here the words like backtrack or function calls. Okay, so once our function call reaches here, again we will see, is there any source, is there any neighboring vertex of this source which is not being visited. So we will see, no. Okay, so there was only one neighboring vertex 4 which is already visited. So okay, so we cannot do anything over here. So we will again backtrack and we'll come to this source vertex which is 0, and then we'll say, is there any neighboring vertex which is not currently being visited. So if you see, okay, 1 is already visited but 2 is not visited, so we will again go to 2. So now we'll come here and we will print 2. Okay, we'll do the same thing again. Okay, is there any neighboring vertex of 2 which is not being visited. Okay, so we see there is a 3. Okay, so we'll go to 3. It will become now new source, and we will print 3. Okay, then we will try to find out, is there any other neighboring vertex of 3 which is not being visited. So we go to 4, but we know this is already visited, so we'll backtrack. So we'll come back to 3 like this. Again here we will check, is there anything which is not visited till now, any neighboring vertex of 3. So no, there is no. So we'll backtrack here. Again from 2, there is no neighboring vertex which is not being visited, so we'll backtrack to 0, and again we'll check, there is no vertex to go. So here our program will end, and at the end we have the list like 0 1 4 2 3. Let's see the code. It's pretty easy code, but you will see it's very important to understand it in detail and know what each line is doing, and then you can implement it, or you can use it in many other problems of grades or of mazes or of trees. Okay, so there are many other problems this could be solved using a simple DFS traversal. Okay, so at the first step, I have defined a map as a, sorry, I have defined a graph as a map from integer to list of integers. uh, so for example, let's take this graph and let me see how I am building graph. So here I am calling graph with number of vertices as 5. And if you see first, I'm creating an empty array list or empty list of integer for each vertex. So initially, for example, for this 0th vertex there will be an empty list. For one vertex there will be an empty list. For two empty lists, like this. Then what I am doing, I am doing graph.get0. So graph.get0 will give me this empty list, and I am adding 1 and 2 in this empty list. So now it will become 1 comma 2. So basically this map is 0 to 1 comma 2. Same way in this second line, you see that I am adding vertex 4 as an neighboring vertex for one node. So this will become 1 4. Same way second will take 2 3, and 3 will have 1. And if you see here, 0 has neighbors 1 2, so this line is representing that part, and 1 has neighbor 4, so it is represented by this part. 2 has neighbor 3, it is represented by this part. 3 has neighbor 1, it is represented by this part. But don't worry about this part. Probably you won't be writing a graph representation in your problem. You will already be given a type of graph and how it is being represented to your function. It could be either adjacency matrix or adjacency list or integer 2D array or list of integer. It could be in many forms, so don't worry about that. And in case you don't feel comfortable using a given representation, you can always ask interviewer that can I use this type of representation for the graph, and they will never say no, because here they are not checking how do you represent the graph, they are just trying to see how you are solving the problems. Okay, so that's it for the graph. So once I have declared a graph as a map, you can build I have a build graph function. And let me give you one more hint over here. So whenever you are writing a problem, make sure you are taking different you are using basically different functions. Don't do everything in just one function. It makes your problem complex or solution complex to read, and it will be confusing. And sometimes interviewer won't even ask you to complete the any function call. So for example, if I write build graph here and I can tell the interviewer that I'm planning to have this graph in this way, he won't even ask me to create a function. So this will solve your time. Okay, so that's where. So now I have a function, and which we already visited. This is a DFS function, hardly 5-6 lines of code. And first let me walk through this code again so that you know what it should print. Then I will go one by one to each line. So let me do one thing. Let me give a walkthrough of the algorithm, at the same time show you what each line is doing. So if you see first line, if visited dot contains current vertex, return. So if I am at a vertex which is already visited, right? So I don't need to do anything. So I am done. Otherwise I'll be going in loop and loop. So I am done. So I'll just simply return from the function. So this is the first part. Then I'm doing visited dot add current vertex. Okay, so for example, let's run it through the current code. So we are passing source vertex x0, which is read in a current vertex variable. So this line will say, okay, visited that contains current vertex. Does this visited set contains current vertex? So initially, you know, our visited is empty, so it will return as false. So you will not go inside this return function. You will go in this under line. Then visited dot add current vertex. Okay, so it is not visited. Now added it to the visited set. So here I have added 0 over here. Okay, if you see here, system.out.println current vertex. So here I am printing it right now, or you can just create one more list and you can keep on adding this current vertex, and you can print it later. You can return, or you can just return as part of this DFS function. It's up to you, but for the simplicity I am just printing this vertex. So our program just first will print 0. Okay, next line, for int never graph the dot get current vertex. So what I am here doing, I am trying to get all the neighbors of the current vertex. Okay, so once I am done printing the current vertex, I am looping through all the neighbors of the current vertex one by one, because we are using map to represent a graph. We know that we can use map.get to find the associated values for a key. So here this function will return me all the neighboring vertices of this current vertex. So in our example, so it will return 1 comma 2. Okay, so I am using, okay, so once I am done printing the current vertex as part of DFS traversal, I am looping through all of its neighbors, and because this graph I have created as a map, so in map you have a function which you can use map.get, and you can pass the parameter as key, and it will return all the values associated to that parameter, to that key. So in our case, for example, now current vertex is 0, so graph.get 0, and whatever 0 is going to return, because we have something like this, so our 0 will return 1 and 2. So it will read that one by one. So in first it will read never as 1, and it will go inside this loop, and it will call a DFS on this 1 now. Okay, so we printed 0, we took the first never of 1, of 0, which is 1, and it will go here, and again this function will call, and then we'll check if visited dot contains current vertex. So current vertex now is 1, so is it visited? So we will check our visited set. No, it is not inside there, so it is not visited, so we will not do any return. We will again go into next line, and visited dot add current vertex, so we'll simply add 1 over here, and we'll print it. Okay, again we'll try to find out all the neighbors of current vertex, so of 1, so there is only one vertex. It's a directed graph, you could have taken an undirected graph, but for now it's a directed graph, so there is only one neighbor, 4. So this variable will contain 4, so it will go inside DFS graph, then again pass the current visited and pass the neighbor, which is basically 4. Okay, so now our function will again be called. We'll come here, we'll check if visited dot contains 4. So does it contain 4? No, right? So it won't return the function. It will go inside and visited dot add current vertex, so it will add 4 in the visited list. It will print 4, and then it will again go this line. It will try to find all the neighbors of this 4, and if you see, for 4 there is no neighbor, the list is empty, so it has nothing to do. So it will return from here. So we were here, so now it is returned. It will come to this part, and it will again try to see how many neighbors are there and how many are basically visited. So we already did for 4, so which was the first neighbor of the 1, but now there is no other neighbor for 1, so again it will go back to this 0. And if you remember, we had taken 1 first time when we were visiting through 0 as a neighboring vertex. Now 2 will be taken, and again same function will be called for 2. So DFS graph visited and neighbor. Okay, so it will come here. Does this visited set contains current vertex, which is 2? So no, it does not contain that. So we will simply add it to the current set. So it will add 2 over here, and it will at the same time print it. So add and print. Okay, and then it will come here. It will try to find out all the neighbors of 2. So 2 has a neighbor 3. Okay, so it will now neighbor variable will contain 3. It will again be calling this function DFS graph visited and neighbor, which is now current vertex as part of this function call, which is 3, and we will see, is it visited? No, it's not in the visited list. So we will put it in the visited list, we'll print it, and we'll try to find out all the neighbor of 3. So there is neighbor 1. Okay, so it will get 1, and it will again run this call. It will come here. Now it will check if visited contains current vertex, which is basically 3. Yes, you see 3 is here. Oh, sorry, from 3 it will go to 1. Okay, so it will say, okay, it does it contain 1s? Yes, so 1 is here. So it will just simply return back. So it will come here. Now we are done with 3 also. Okay, so it will go back to 2, and that function call will there is no other neighbor for 2, so it will return back to 0, and there is no remaining any neighbor for 0, so the function will end. So at the end we will have 0 1 4 2 3, and our visited will contain 0 1 4 2 3. Okay, so we see 0 1 4 2 3, so it is printing right. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I'll put this into my GitHub location and you can see the code, but I would prefer if you write code on your own. Programming is an habit, it is not learned in 1 day or 2 days, and it's always okay if you are not able to solve a problem. You just have to push hard, and you just have to practice more and more, and you will ultimately get it. And don't worry if you see some people are able to do any problem in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, 1 hour, or you are not even able to do the program. Don't worry, try to practice more and more, see the answer, and again try to do the problem. Okay, so at the end, just let's discuss the time and space complexity. So time complexity of this DFS algorithm is order of V plus E, where V is the number of vertices of the graph and E is the number of edges. So why order of V plus E? Order of V comes from the fact that we are doing a recursive call for each and every vertex of the graph. So it becomes order of V. And for each vertex, we are traversing all the edges of that vertex. So it becomes order of V plus E. Space complexity is order of V. Why? Because for each vertex we are doing a DFS call, so the recursive call stack will have maximum order of V. And also we are using one visited set, and it can contain maximum of number of vertices of the graph, so it will be order of V. So total space complexity will become order of V. Okay, so let's take an practical example of whatever we have learned so far. And I'll do some more problems using grid or mazes so that you understand how important this is to know this DFS algorithm. So this is lead code problem 323, number of connected components in an undirected graph. And here you have been given graph, and it's an undirected graph, so there is no direction. So it means there is a link from 1 to 2. Also there is a link from 2 to 1. Also it's a graph which has many components. It simply means there are some components in a graph which are not even linked. So here 0 1 2 is one component, 3 4 is one component. It is part of one graph, but they are not linked. So we will be given number of vertices. So 0 1 2 3 4, here number of vertices is 5. We will be given edges. So there is a edge from 0 to 1, but it means there is also an edge from 1 to 0, so that we have to take care in the code. 1 to 2, so we have an edge from 1 to 2, also we have an edge from 2 to 1, and then 3 to 1. So it seems some more practical DFS application, so that you can start from any of the vertex and you can visit it till you reach at the end or at the dead end. So you will say, okay, this is one component and this is another component. Okay, so let me do it. So what do we need for that? So we need to first run DFS. And how do we run DFS? We need a visited. So we'll just take set of integer, we'll call it as visited, new hash set. Okay, and we need to decide which source to use, but here I think if we run through one source, we'll end up not visiting another component. So probably we'll do a for loop and we'll try all vertices as a source. For int I is equal to 0, I less than n, n is the number of vertices, I plus plus. And then we, before calling any function, we'll always check whether this vertex is already visited or not. So if not visited dot contains I, then only you do a DFS. And before that, what you can do, as soon as you find a component which is not visited, you can easily know that it's an component. So we'll put an count of components, we'll initialize it with 0, and as soon as we have a node, so it can be a part of component, we'll just run update component value, will increase it by 1, and then we'll call a DFS. What do we need? We need edges, so we will be able to find out the neighboring vertices for that vertex. We need a source vertex, in this case here it's I, and we need set of visited vertices. Okay, and then we will write this DFS, which will be basically similar to what we have already seen, private static void, because we will not return anything, we'll name it as DFS. We need integer 2D array for edges, we need integer current vertex or source vertex, whatever you want to call it, and you have set of integer which is basically visited. Okay, so we'll do the same thing. So DFS is very simple. First you check if it is visited or not. If it's in visited, so if visited dot contains current vertex, so you no need to do anything, you can simply return from here. If not, you need to find all the neighbors of current vertex. So probably I'll do a for loop int neighbor, and then I'll write a function. So get all neighbors. Okay, I will spell it correctly, and we will pass, what do you need? You need edges, you need current vertex. Okay, so we'll find them. So once it is done, so we'll loop through one by one neighbor, and B will call a DFS function. Here you see we no need to uh, store any DFS list, so I won't do it. Otherwise, if they ask you also what are the vertices in a connected component, you can create a list of integer and you can keep on putting for a different component each vertex whatever you are visiting. So for now I will just call a DFS again, and to DFS this is our function. We need edges, so it won't change, so we'll pass edges. Current vertex will now become neighbor, and also the visited we need to pass so that we can check we are not visiting the same vertex again and again in order to avoid loops. I think this will solve the problem, right? So we will, for example, here we'll take 0 first. We will increase the number of components because now there is a component which is not visited. We'll run a DFS for this I, which basically which is 0, and it will update this visited set, and at the end this visited set will have 0 1 2, and the function call will return back to this main method, and this if this will be done. Again it will run for next vertices for 1, right? So it will come here and check if this now 1 will be in the visited set, because as part of this function it will keep on adding. Oh sorry, I just forgot it. So you have to, not here, you have to add here. So visited dot add current vertex. Okay, and it's okay if you miss one line over here. Anyway, you have to dry run your code, so you will find out if you are missing something. So it's perfectly all right. You no need to memorize any solution. You need to understand how to solve it. Okay, so then we'll run for I is equal to 1, and we'll again come here. Okay, visited will contain 1, so it will go back to this for loop again. Then we'll run for 2, again visited will contain 2, so we'll go back again here. Then we'll run for 3, 3 won't be here, then it will increase the component count by 1, so now it will become 2, and then it will call for DFS as I will be 3, and visited will contain 0 1 2, it will do the same thing, and finally you will see the answer will be 2, because when it will try to run for 4, again it will be in visited as part of DFS algorithm where we would start from 3, so it won't go inside, so it will be ending, and it will return at the end. I just need to return this component. So what do you think? Okay, so only one thing is pending here. I am using this function, so let me just quickly implement it. And in your interview, maybe your interviewer won't ask you to implement this function, but here let me just implement it. Private static, and what is it returning? So it will return the list of integer, or basically it's the list of neighbors. So name is called get all, oops, NEIGHBORS, and we have edges, and we have int current vertex. I'll call it as a CV. Okay, then what we need to do, I need to loop through each edges and find out the neighboring vertex to CV. Okay, so let me do that. For int I is equal to 0, I less than edges dot length I plus plus, and before that, because I need to return a list of integer, let me create a list of integer first. Let me call it as NEIGSB neighbors, and it will be a new array list. Okay, and at the end let me just return this. Okay, if you see here, right, so edges is basically a 2D array. So every time I'm saying I is equal to 0, I am basically taking this first integer array. For I equals 1, I will be taking this one, and so on. So it means edges of 0 will contain again an array which is basically containing 2 elements. So I will call it int first vertex. So because we know this is a link from vertex to vertex, so edges of I and 0th. So edges of I0 will contain now 0, and I will take int second vertex or neighboring vertex, whatever you want to say it, and edges I1. Okay, once it is done, I need to see, is this CV anyway connected to this FV or NV? What I mean, is it, I need to check both ways. So I will take CV and check whether CV is connected to this one, and again I will check whether this is connected to CV. So I'll write two if loops. If CV equals neighboring vertex. So what does this mean? So it means, is this value, is this current value is equal to the current vertex which we have passed? So in this case it is not, but it could be. So we'll just write a function, and if this is the case, we need to add the other vertex to the neighboring list, so which we have neig. I will just add it FV. Okay, and same way I'll just do copy paste, and here I need to write else if, and now I will check if CV equal to first vertex. Why I am doing this? Because it's an undirected graph, so if it's 0 1, it means there is a link from 0 to 1, but it also means there is a link from 1 to 0, so I need to check both ways. And if it is to FD, I will just add NV. I think that's it. Okay, so finally friends, there were some mistakes in variable names, so I had to correct them, and let me just submit it, and it is done. So that's it, my friends. It's an easy algorithm, but there are so many problems. I will again say to you, go ahead and first practice this simple DFS, understand the complete logic, write the code 2-3 times, and then start doing solving problems. Discuss what is its time and space complexity. So it's a DFS, we already discussed. The time complexity is order of V plus E, where V is the number of edges, number of vertices, so here it's n, and E is the number of edges. So here edges is represented by this 2D, so order of n plus edges dot length, you could say. And space complexity, again we could have maximum recursive call for total vertices, so it will be order of V, and we are not using any other variable, so we have one components variable over here, but it's just a integer, so it's order of 1. And that's it, my dear friends, for today. I hope you like it, and please like the video and subscribe my channel. I'm planning to do some more videos on graph algorithm. Yeah, see you again. Thank you. Bye.